are at the official Happy Junk headquarters, ran by John Aguirre. Calling you guys to the headquarters. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
What brings this part of town?
I was just in the neighborhood.
Come on, check out my...
Okay, dude, I missed you.
It's good to see you, man.
The last time
Wow.
it was my meetup.
Right.
And then before that, you were in town. We had Soul, the Mexican restaurant. And here we are, guys. So this is crazy. Why don't we do a little tour of the Happy Junk headquarters? Show us around.
All right, well, welcome. Here it is. It's a work in progress, but we have enough to store 11 dumpsters here. Right now, some of them are out. We have our trucks. We have roll-off trucks, 3 roll-off trucks, so we don't have to pick up heavy items. You just put the dumpster.
Wait, you have three roll-offs?
Yeah.
So that's one roll-off?
Yeah, this is my first one, the Hino. That's the big one. Picks up a lot of weight, 10,000 pounds. And then we got 2 NRRs. One's already out.
Are they all diesels here?
Yes, all diesel. Gas is probably a good option, but I didn't want to mess with the gas in the diesel tank thing.
Yeah. How many dumpsters does Happy Junk have?
We have 11.
11 dumpsters. Can you show me one of these NRRs?
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit.
But yeah, so it's got a pow finger hook. Makes pianos and heavy items really easy. We just put the dumpster down and just walk into it.
I never thought about that. That is kind of a benefit to having a roll-off truck.
Yeah, it's a little bit pricier, but nobody likes to drive the other truck that doesn't have the lift on it.
That's awesome.
I have to drive that truck.
So when you add the hook lift, it's because you can take any chassis and kind of build what you want on those, right?
Right.
Okay. We are here with my good friend, John Aguirre from Happy Junk Removal out here in Mesa, Arizona. Guys, bear with me. I wasn't able to mic both of us up, so we're gonna be swapping back the microphone. Don't worry about it. So John, it's good to have you. How are you, my man?
I'm good. Andrew, thanks for having me on your show. This is great.
I'm gonna be a famous YouTube junk removal interviewer. This is gonna be my first interview, my man. So thank you for having me once again in this beautiful place. But before we dive in, it is hot as balls out here.
Yeah, you came at one of the least pleasant times of the year in Arizona. It's super hot. Sometimes I wish I had hair to shade my head, but yeah, it's hot.
Is that why you just shave your head?
No, because I can't grow hair.
John's junk removal company has hit nearly 7 figures. How long have you been in the business?
I've been in the junk removal business 10 years now.
10 years. So it goes without saying, John here knows a little bit about junk removal, and we're gonna dive in on how he built his business with 11 dumpsters, 4 dump trucks, 2 trucks running full time, and also all diesel, by the way. He has this nice plot of land. I mean, look at this. He's got an office, he's got a warehouse, he's got an employee backyard area to hang out. I mean, John knows what he's doing. Let's jump in.
Glad to be here, Andrew. I'm excited. Actually, Andrew, to be fully transparent, we didn't quite hit 7 figures. We're shy about $28,000, but we're gonna get there.
Hell yeah. That's still super impressive, my man. Why don't we start from the top, John? For the people out there who don't know what junk removal is, what is junk removal?
Oh, sure, yeah. It's a common issue that we all have to deal with. It's been around hundreds of years, but until recently, there hasn't been a service to fulfill that need, or companies that's all they're dedicated to is hauling junk. So what junk removal is, people acquire items in the backyards, they have investment properties, they're a property manager, they're downsizing, they need to get rid of the junk, and the local municipalities, the waste services do not take that junk. Sometimes they might take it with bulk pickup, but the people don't have time to wait to have that junk picked up, so they need a service like ours to take care of them. A lot of our customers call us lifetime customers about 4 times usage. We have regular commercial customers that call us monthly, sometimes every 2 weeks. Anything you don't want, we get the phone call, and then we help the customer get rid of those items, whether we do it or we get them to the right resource. And I guess that's about it for junk removal.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's great. Yeah, junk removal is very interesting because, and I still don't even think junk removal is like that well known. Like, what do you think? If you were to go outside and interview 20 people and you ask them, do you know what junk removal is, or have you hired a junk removal company, do you think, what do you?
Yeah, so I think the market's still young. A lot of people don't know what it is. And I'll be out with my family and, the conversation, what do you do for work comes up. And I say, I do junk removal. They're like, oh, you're a trash guy? Like, well, Not really. You know, it's a specialty. And so I explain them what junk removal is. I'd say 98% of the population is not aware of junk removal, but it's growing.
What did you start with, or how would you start if you wanted to get into junk removal, kind of like in the beginning, you know?
Sure. There's a lot of different approaches how to get into the business. What I would recommend is have at least a half-ton pickup truck, because you could start just with your truck. My son did his first job in a Toyota Tacoma. I've seen lots of guys start with less than that, station wagons pulling the trailer. But if you have a half-ton truck, you can get them cheap. You know, get a Silverado like 2008, 2010. Those are good trucks. Then you can upgrade to a single axle trailer, dual axle trailer. Then you can upgrade to a dump trailer. And then you can go to one of the bigger trucks like this one, the NPR. And that's a little bit of a game changer. It helps you with your logistics, and it makes you look a lot more professional. But my recommendation, if you're starting out, have a pickup truck and get to work. You know, It's that easy. This is our best find this summer, guys. Check this out. This, I checked, $6,000 brand new. Hospital didn't want it, worked fine. We got a RO system. This water tastes better than the water at my house.
Really?
Yeah, the guys from work take this water home. They call it work water.
Oh shit, it's a sensor too?
Yeah, just like convenience store.
Oh, it's the nugget ice.
Right, babe? I'll let you know how it tastes.
Junk water.
Oh yeah.
Is that good?
I can taste the osmosis filter. It's reverse, I can tell.
So let's take it inside.
This is real junk removal right here. Let's let our audience know, who is John Aguirre?
That's a good question. So yeah, I'm a married father of three boys. I love this business we're in. It's a lot of fun. I like the camaraderie. I like what it's done for my family. It's just adversity, challenges, growth, you know, victories, failures. It's just a lot of fun. Just a hardworking guy, you know.
Yeah. So good old classic family man, hardworking man.
Yeah. So I got a bachelor's degree at ASU, but I wouldn't consider myself a white collar guy. I don't like sitting in a cubicle. I like to be active. Entrepreneurial, I always have ideas, can't execute on all of them, but I'm always thinking about, creative ways to be productive.
We got John with Happy Junk.
What's up, guys?
He's not usually on the truck, but he has an after hours client, and I guess, John, you just were willing to, you're just like, whatever, I'll do it. Make a little extra money, why not?
Yep.
Stay active. And I asked him, I was like, yo, can I jump on the truck with you? And he's like, hell yeah. So he's got his son with my girlfriend following just in case I can't keep up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. Obviously I'm not talking to the customer, but like I'm remembering, like, okay, let's see, what do you have in bidding and pricing? Like, do you have a pricing sheet? Do you do a pricing sheet, or do you just pull a number out of your ass?
I should have my price. There's probably one in here somewhere.
Let's talk more about junk removal for the audience. Some more questions I know they're gonna have. How do you price jobs? Because tons of people out there, this is one of their most common questions.
Yeah, pricing jobs for me, it's evolved over time. In the beginning, it was very linear. Say a quarter truck would be quarter of my full rate. But I found out through the industry, guys that are in the industry, they said you need to raise your middle price. So you really want to charge the most at where your average job size is, which is about a half truck. For example, if a full truck price is $1,000 for a half load, you don't want to charge $500.
Right.
You want to charge a little bit more, $650. Push it even $700 if you can. Ultimately, it comes down to how low you can get your cost of goods. But anytime it's a tougher job with concrete, tough passages, clunky items, you can charge more. And don't be scared. Charge your normal price, and then you charge logistics.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to explain to the customer what logistics is. You can explain, we had to go over the wall with the jacuzzi, so we're gonna have to charge a little extra as logistics.
How do you feel about pricing sheets versus not having pricing sheets? Because without pricing sheets, you can obviously just whip a number out of your ass.
Yeah,
right?
Believe it or not, when I go out right now, because I was used to doing it without the pricing sheet, I just pull out numbers,
right?
And I'll go high. But I think it's more effective with a pricing sheet because you can show the customer the picture of the truck and the breakdown of the pricing. So either way works, but with my crew, we like the pricing sheet.
Yeah, because then you could be sure your crew doesn't underbid.
Right. So this customer, I guess it was at Burger King. They rented it out to shoot some movie, some film. So I didn't really talk to Maggie about the scope of it, but we've done jobs for this company before. So might be some set debris, cardboard. I don't know. We'll find out. So Sometimes it's a little, sometimes it's a lot.
It's like muscle memory. It's like, man, I miss it.
I just hope there's no concrete on the bottom.
Oh, one of those kind of piles, huh? All right, guys, you remember how that is, huh? You got to be careful with these piles when you bid people because sometimes they put hiding shit under sheetrock.
This is pretty much it.
Wait, what? No, wait a second. Did he just prank us?
One of you guys, apparently.
Who do you know that is running this commercial company? Or like doing this insurance commercial?
I don't know. We just got the call.
Oh, that
There
is.
it
Wait,
is. Hour and a
hey,
half.
wait, were you just joking?
Yeah, I was just
Oh, bro. I was about to say we're going to be here till 8 o'clock. What's your landfill and transfer station fees out here in Arizona?
I think right now we're at $38 a ton at the transfer station. Yeah, so our dump fees, I think we're running around 4% of sales.
Just for reference, guys, my dump fees were 10 to 12% of my revenue. So our dump fees were $90 a ton.
Yeah, California's pricey.
But that was the dump if we're willing to go far away.
Yeah.
The convenient dump is $150 a ton. Ooh. Yeah. What do you do with the stuff?
So we try to donate as much as possible. We have a charity pretty close. It's called Purple Heart. Proceeds go to veterans. That's one of our go-tos. We tend to avoid the larger ones, the big G.
I don't know if this is something we can put on camera or not. Like, is there a reason?
Yeah, so Goodwill's been around a long time, but most of the money made, it's not really going to the employees. It's going to the admin administration. That's my understanding.
They're a for-profit business.
Right.
Okay.
Although it's not so, in my understanding.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we try to hit the local charities, St. Vincent de Paul, Maggie's Place. There's one right down the street, Helen's Hope Chest. So we try to donate as much as possible. We do have a gentleman that comes by that will, set aside some stuff for him. He buys it from us.
Cool.
We recycle. Our recycle rate's about 3% of sales, scrap metal. We're about 5 minutes away from the scrap yard.
Nice.
5 minutes from the transfer station.
You hit the jackpot with this piece of land.
Yeah, this is a really good spot.
And then obviously the stuff that you can't donate and scrap, you take to the dump or transfer station.
So end of the day, we have a sheet that asks some basic questions that the drivers will plug in. What were the sales for the day? What were the dump fees for the day? How much fuel? How many jobs? Based on those responses, it takes about 3 to 4 minutes for them to input that on the computer, which is a Google form. The Google form is tied in with this spreadsheet, which compiles everything so we can look at graphs and trends. This is what we see here. It looks at total revenue for the day.
You break it down to even revenue per hour and revenue per hour per person too?
Yes. Here's all the responses. Here's a summary. Revenue per hour average for all of us was 173. So this next tab is cog analysis. This is scrap. Watch this. 2%. So our scrap rate went down. So
Dump analysis.
all right, so we got how much we spent on fuel.
Wow.
So revenue per mile.
How long have you been doing this form?
Probably close to 3 years now.
The COGS is insanely impressive. Where could they find you?
So yeah, you can find me at localjunkers.com or you can email me at john@localjunkers.com and we can set up a interview or a meeting. First 15 minutes are free. We'll talk about where you're at, where you want to go. Based on my experience, I can share you my story and what I'm doing, and it seems to be working. There's room for improvement, but it's still working.
So I have to ask, you've got a lot of room out there, and I haven't even seen the rest of it. You still have to give me we got to finish the tour, but why don't I see like a whole bunch of stuff out there for resale?
That's a good question.
Like, because you could do a monthly sale or...
Yeah, so we've been focusing on just growing the business, but that's coming down. It's going to be in the future. You'll see something.
Because, you could make some...
Yeah, there's opportunity there. Like, I got to figure out that model. The building's older, so I have to bring it up to code before I can have it a public store.
Yeah, especially if you're 5 minutes from the transfer station. You can just come here real quick, drop off, like...
Yeah.
Because I be seeing people selling, like, crazy things that you just list on Facebook Marketplace and offer up? And
Yeah, oh, you mentioned how to get rid of some of the stuff. We do a little bit of sales on Marketplace and offer up, not a whole lot. I think there's enough volume to justify having a small store.
cool. So the basics are out of the way. You know, I know there's a lot of us already in this industry,
Yeah.
but what advice would you give somebody who does want to get into this industry?
Okay, good question. So if you're entertaining getting into the business, I would say do it because you're going to learn a lot, even though it might not fit your revenue goals. You're going to learn a lot and take you to your next place that you're going to go to with more education. But if you stick with it, it can provide you a nice income. It certainly has for me and my family. It's taught my kids how to run businesses, you know.
Yeah.
My oldest graduated high school or college. He didn't have to apply for a job, you know. He got his own company.
That's the one that started his own junk business?
Yeah, that's Mattel.
Here's Speedway right here. If you guys want to check him out, I'll put a link in the description. Check out his son's company.
My other son learned how to flip vintage clothes that we got at Junk Jobs. Now he's got a nice little side hustle selling vintage clothes.
Nice.
So you can follow him on Depop, Bittersweet Vintage.
For the people who do decide to commit to this and, you know, give it a shot, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give them getting into this business? Like,
Even if you don't do it, 100%, you're gonna make money. You're not gonna lose money if you do just the basics, which is, don't pay for ads, just do some social media posts. Just referrals is gonna get you work. Just have a pickup truck, and my advice is do not get into debt. Grow it slowly until you feel comfortable taking it to the next step. Say, hey, this pickup truck's making me $5,000 a month consistently. I think I want to get a trailer. But if you're all in and you're going to invest a lot of money, that's really tricky because the demographics has a lot to do with that, and it's very competitive now. So 10 years ago, anyone could do it. And this time and day, you can't do it as easy as it was before. I just say be very careful what you invest because your demographic might not be as productive as what you would think, and it'll be a lot of work getting to pay for those trucks, pay that insurance, pay all those operating expenses. So be cautious.
it's good that you say that, because if you go back to my channel in the very beginning, I started with Google Ads, and this was 3 years ago, and it was kind of competitive 3 years ago, and I was paying a lot per click. I was able to do it because I have massive experience with the technical side of things. Point being, that is solid advice, because I now have changed my advice. I no longer tell the same advice. Like, Google Ads is now last.
Yeah.
It's not that easy anymore. How did you come up with the name Happy Junk Removal?
So originally, I'd already come up with a logo. It was going to be more corporate looking. It was going to be Express Junk Removal. At the time, I didn't even know that name was taken. I'd already had some jobs under my belt. When I went to go file the LLC paperwork, I said, you know what? It's Happy. I tried to encompass what I was about, the customer experience was about. Most of the time, they're happy to see all that crap gone, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's happy to see it gone, and I'm happy to take your money and take your junk. So everybody wins, you know?
I got some stuff in my truck. It's my truck's all the way over there. We just go get some stuff real quick. Okay, now that John is gone, how is John? You can be honest. I mean, I'll cut this out. Is he cool?
Oh, it's terrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
I knew it. I could tell he's. Jokes aside, though, how
It's amazing. It's amazing. I've worked for another junk company before. Working with John, it's not like a normal job. It's actually like family here.
It's like the title says, happy here.
It is.
Cool. What do you guys like about junk removal so far?
More helping people out now.
So,
And donating, especially when we do find something. My biggest thing is not to donate to Goodwill. I don't believe in that cause. Our biggest thing here at Happy Junk is to donate to the troops.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's our number one.
That's the same. Seeing the customers smile when we're all done, and especially when it's an older lady that can't take care of herself.
Yeah.
Whenever we get there and we're able to help her out and see how happy she is. So,
John, you guys really are Happy Junk Removal. Were these canned responses? A lot of the people who are getting into this industry probably want to know, what is the hardest part of this job?
wait, when something's really heavy.
Yeah.
Arizona heat.
Oh yeah.
I want you to rewind 10 years. You've been in business for 10 years, you said out there. How did you get into this business? How did you discover it? How's it been these last 10 years?
Yeah, so I had left a corporate job, and before I left, I wanted to start a business so I could do after I left the corporate job. I worked in tech, Motorola Semiconductors for 18 years, and actually I called 1-800-GOT-JUNK to see what a franchise cost back then.
No shit.
Yeah, so I think back then it was I don't know, I want to say 120, 140,000, which today that's a slam dunk, right, to get that franchise.
Yeah,
And at the time I'm that's a lot of money. So instead, I started a pressure washing business because in high school I worked summer jobs washing the school buses. I slowly built up that business. I started, I think in 2004, I hired my first employee. From there, I started adding services for parking lot sweeping. I started a hood cleaning business. I bought a business, had 300 restaurants that we'd go out and clean. Had 6 employees, 3 trucks, and the first year of business, I lost $25,000, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Wow.
So I went back to my trusty spreadsheet, plugged in all the numbers. I'm like, oh shoot, these jobs are underpriced. So I raised the price on all the customers. Half of them fired me, but I went from 6 employees to 3 employees. Then I was profitable. So I kept that business 8 or 9 years. I sold that. I had one customer, a commercial customer, say, hey, I need this warehouse pressure washed. Can you do it? Sure. So I went and looked at the warehouse. It was a smaller warehouse. There was a lot of junk. They had grease filtering equipment. I did the pressure washing. We pushed the equipment to the sides, and the customer said, hey, can you take away this junk also? And then it resonated with me like, yeah, we can take the junk. So we hauled that away in my Toyota Tundra. Back then I hadn't planned doing junk removal. But after that job, I said, you know what? I need to revisit this junk removal thing that I thought about or investigated in 2001. The first truck I bought was like a 1980 diesel. It was a dinosaur moving truck. I did one job in it, and I was, the door fell off almost one time. It's like, I got it because it was cheap. It was $5,000 or $8,000. But I said, this is a bad decision, and I should have consulted somebody, but there was nobody there to ask questions. I did one job, and I said, I got to get rid of this. So I sold it. Then I bought my first, I think it was a 2004 NPR, an old landscaping truck, and painted it and made it look nice, got it branded. I had that going, and I also had like a trailer I picked up, so I would use the trailer and the little dump truck, and it slowly started growing. Some of the same employees that I had doing the pressure washing started helping me with junk removal. One of the guys was with me 9 years. Guess what he does now for a living?
Junk removal.
Junk removal, yeah, and he does well. So one of my competitors here in town. So he's doing that. In the beginning, I said, if I can make $10,000 a month doing junk removal,
that's how it all starts.
And I had no idea what I was getting into, and now it's like I love it.
It wasn't because you saw it on YouTube. I mean,
no.
It was because one customer just asked, "Can you take this trash?" And then,
I said, yeah.
Do you remember how much you charged them to take that trash?
I think it was like $600.
My first day for Happy Junk, John wanted me to do. He said I was just going to be admin, like working in the office. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I did not dress for junk removal because I had no plan on doing junk removal. And as soon as I get here, he's like, hey, we got a storage unit I'm going to go clean out. You want to go with me? And I'm like, of course, sure. Why not, right? Like, first day, you have to do it. We loaded up this storage unit into the truck, and it was like 115 degrees outside.
Oh, good old Arizona.
And, yeah, it was a nightmare. And then the agents that we were doing the job for showed up and said, oh, wait, no, don't take all of that. We want all that to stay. And so then they wanted us to unload everything. It was a full truckload.
It was summertime.
Yeah, very hot. So I ended up like running and hiding in front of the truck and ralphing, losing my guts. And John pops out of the storage and he's like, are you okay? Did you throw up? And I was like, I did.
You've been in the business 10 years. How has it changed?
Probably the biggest evolution is social media and just awareness of the business as a viable way to make a living, and the stigma of being a trash man. It's, making good money hauling junk.
Yeah.
There was nobody in the beginning. I stalked one of my competitors into a Jack in the Box parking lot. Robert.
How did you know he was going to be at the Jack in the Box?
I didn't. I drove by, saw his truck.
Oh, okay.
It's good branding, those big trucks.
Yeah.
So I rolled in, and he's still a friend of mine. He's here local. He's probably my number one competitor. But so I asked him for some tips. Hey, my name's John. I'm going to start a junk removal business. Can you give me some tips? He's like, yeah, I'll give you some advice. And we took a picture together. And he gave me a little bit of advice. Not everything, but enough to, kind of get me going. So he said, yeah, you need to get a truck and so that. Then I hit up a guy in Seattle, Mark Brock from Brock's Junk Removal. He's been around a long time, and I asked him for some tips. So I said, Brock, I'll tell you what, when I get this up and running, I'm going to fly out there, I'm going to buy you a beer.
Did you ever do that?
2 years passed by. I'm like, Brock, you ready for that beer? So I flew out there and I took my kids and we did a road trip out of it. But so back then Yelp for me was a big thing. So I showed him how to do Yelp. So, full circle. He helped me out, I helped him out. So we spent about 4 hours together. And then, so he's still in business. He's got 4 or 5 trucks going,
Dang, that's awesome.
And it's been a lot of fun, a good journey.
What's your most memorable story, funny moment, crazy? Like, what comes to mind?
So yeah, there's a lot of them. Usually the ones that really stick with me is when I'm with my kids and my wife. One time we're going to a party up the 101. I didn't tell my wife or my kids that I'd booked the job that we're going to do before the party. So we get off the freeway. I was supposed to turn left to go to the party, but I turned right. And my wife's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "We're going to go do a junk job." She's like, "What? We're going to be late for the party?" I said, "It's not going to take long." So I think I actually taped it. How long? I go, "Watch this, kids. We're going to make $125 in less than 3 minutes." We get there and it's just a little pile of bricks by the front driveway. My wife never even got out of the truck, and we did in my pickup truck. So I'm like, "Okay, kids, you know what to do." Boom, we get there. I already talked to the customer. They knew exactly how much it was going to be. So she had money ready. We're in and out like 4 minutes. Yeah, and it's like, that's you make $120.
So it's just
so that's a lot of fun.
Showing your kids and your family.
Yeah,
like, watch how quick we're gonna.
Yes. My oldest, Mateo, we're doing a job one time. It's hot, a stinky, dusty backyard, dog poop, and my son's complaining. He's like, 12-year-olds shouldn't have to do this kind of work, Dad. I'm like, shut up, pick up that dog poop. You know? So now he's in the same business. So I had one lady, she's probably my favorite review. It was an elderly woman. It looked like she wasn't being attended to too well. She recovered from surgery. I just felt really bad for her. She had a couple items. So after I left, I went down like Safeway, bought her some flowers, and I took them back. And she just like, that was the awesome thing for her. And it was pretty cool. Just those human interactions, that's kind of cool. Having customers play tug of war with items that you're supposed to take because they're hoarders, and you're fighting for stuff, and the family's there with you. So yeah, those are memorable moments.
It sounds like your most memorable moment, which is very, very cute, right? Wouldn't you agree, honey? Was a family moment, showing your kids, watch how quickly we're gonna make $125.
Yeah, I think it helps build the work ethic, at least the entrepreneurial spirit, which is hard to ingrain. Yep. I don't know if it's an inherent quality or it's a learned quality. I don't know.
With all, I've learned a lot about you. I hope my viewers have learned a lot. But I have to ask, John, what does the future hold for John? What is John going to do? Is John going to scale the business?
Okay, that's a good question, but I think that's evolving. Whatever I do, going forward, it's going to be about junk. It's going to be related to junk, because I found my passion at a later age, which is junk and anything related to junk. So whether that be recycling, reselling, or growing the business. But I think down the road, you might be seeing maybe like a thrift store. I think that's going to be kind of my slowing down phase, retirement. So I love what I'm doing now. I'm going to keep doing it. So that's going to keep me happy.
Weren't we just talking about, too, that you might even help others, like coach and get into, or taking your happy junk removal knowledge and transferring it?
Okay, so some of you probably seen my local junkers website. You might be actual subscribers on the map. If you're not on the map, get on the map. It's free. Just go on there. All the resources are on that website that are related to junk removal, including Andrew. He's got an awesome platform and content out there that he answers all your questions. What I'm going to do is take my experience, what I've learned in the business. I'm not calling myself an expert by no means, but I've helped a lot of people. I can take credit for at least one millionaire. A couple 500,000 companies, and my son is doing well too. So you can find me on localjunkers.com. I'll be glad to meet with you, but I'll just be sharing my experience, my perspective, and I'm really good on one-on-one coaching.
As always, guys, I leave you with this. Success is often covered in dirt, but so is gold at one point. Toodles!